CSI is a human service organisation, and our core business is diversity and inclusion. In a political environment with a number of reviews coming out, the Royal Commission on Disability and the NDIS review, we thought it was really important to get ahead and consider the key issues that we see on the ground.
So thanks for coming. This is the Pathway to Possibilities Symposium.
On behalf of the Wongal and the Darug mobs, I wish you an interesting and informative day at this symposium that is focused on positive ways to support increased opportunities in employment for people with disability.
A lot of discussions about how we can better support people with disability in terms of the recruitment processes, in terms of maintaining employment, gaining employment.
The key action from today's symposium is first, there's 4.4 million people with the form of disability. From a business sense, it's a huge market share, whether it be as consumers, whether it be as a workforce. If we are genuine about exercising corporate responsibility, social impact, community-minded attitude, this is the time to change culture and do something about it.
What we would like to see is a healthy, vibrant sector who can deliver quality services to participants to raise the bar on economic participation of people with disabilities. We're at a unique time when we've got a massive candidate pool of people with disabilities ready and waiting for job opportunities. So the time is nigh and we're looking forward to that policy framework, but it needs money, it needs incentives, and we need everyone aboard.
Together, if we focus on the strengths of people with disability, it's not just the people with disability that benefit. Businesses and society more broadly benefit.
I think the one great thing about us disabled people is that we are creative, we are iconic, we are fierce to everyone else in the room. We're not surviving at work, we're thriving at work, and that is really amazing. Everyone has the right to have access needs, and we should be saying to anyone who applies for a job and gets a job, what do you need?
My research has a lot of learnings within it that will help to support policy change in Australia for employing more people with disability. And I think that policy change is both at an organisational level, but also for policy change in government.
Looking at the reform agenda that's on the table at the moment, it's really important to, from our perspective at Jobs Australia, to look at the employment service providers and assist them with recruitment and retention of a workforce that we know has been under stress. We need to start to access and use to our advantage the data that we know is available so that we can then use that information to help improve the opportunities for people with disability and all people in fact.
I'm personally connected to creating more employment for people with disability because I am a person with lived experience of disability myself. And if I can help to change culture and to help remove some of the barriers for people, especially for young people, I want them to have a much freer and experience in gaining work and building a career.
It is critical that today's discussion centre on the voices of those with lived experiences, acknowledging the challenges they face and the opportunities for improvement.
It's a basic human right for people to work, and that should be given to all people, including disabled people. When people are employed, they feel that they're part of the community. That is such an important point.
My connection with people with disability and getting them into a job that suits them really began when I started to first get multiple sclerosis symptoms when I was a teenager. And what it meant was there were a couple of jobs where I just thought I can't do that. It became clear that something has to be done for people with disabilities. They make up 20% of the Australian population. Nearly 50% of people with disabilities are chronically unemployed for their entire life. And that has to change. I see enormous hope for people who want to work in, say, the arts in particular. Now that there are more companies working in entertainment, more have the autonomy to stop and think about who could actually fulfill these jobs in a more equitable and equal basis, which is what all people with disabilities are asking for.
Some of the challenges that me as a person that's a job seeker is the attitude. So I think first and foremost, people tend to believe that we can't do much. Also that we can't really be independent. Limits our, involvement in the community and finding a job. Being in the workplace, it's all about building those networks around you, building the connections, but also just letting your team know that you may require support, and it's always good to ask for support.
We make up 20% of the population. Not all disabilities are visible, and not all people feel it's safe to disclose disabilities at work. So when you make it safe for people to be themselves at work, to disclose their disabilities and their access needs, then you'll realise that you probably are working with people with disabilities.
I think an event like this symposium has a lot of opportunities for employers to learn from everyone at the event today, to hear from people with disability and to learn from their experiences, but to also understand the great value they do have to bring into workplaces. And I know that in the background, SSI are there to support employers along that journey. So I know there will be a lot of great outcomes come out of today's event.
The benefit from today's event to the community at large are enormous. Promoting inclusivity, educating the public, empowering individuals, fostering collaboration, and what more importantly is change of culture to reach that ultimate goal by having this vibrant, equitable community.
All the attendees, which was made up of service providers, businesses, organisations, agencies, I think everyone got a lot out of it, contributed a lot to the event. So I suppose in terms of next steps, we're looking at an evaluation. What did attendees learn from the event? What were they able to put into practice? And look, who knows, maybe we'll do this again into the future.
The Pathways to Possibilities Symposium is just a small event, but there are people in this room who have a lot of influence, a lot of power, and putting them together, stuff starts to happen. At the coalface, we look at it and say, oh well, it's just a small group of people, but small group of people can really change the world.